Welcome back to Daily Salar Digital. Today in this episode of Cut Through the Noise, we give you the real story behind some massive developments happening right now. We are talking about a 23-minute military operation that changed everything, a political controversy that's got everyone talking, and a global health crisis that could affect millions. Plus, we will dive into why YouTube is shaking up its monetization rules again and what India is doing in space that has everyone excited. I'm not just going to list headlines today. We are connecting the dots to show you how these seemingly separate events are actually reshaping power dynamics globally. So hit that subscribe button and let's cut through the news. Let's start with something that completely caught the world's attention. India's Operation Sindoor, and when I tell you about the precision of this operation, you're going to understand why this is such a big deal. According to India's National Security Advisor Ajit Doval, here's what happened. India hit 13 air bases, including 9 terror bases across Pakistan. The entire operation lasted just 23 minutes past 1 a.m. on May 7th. 23 minutes, that's not just impressive, that's a complete strategic statement. Now, what does this tell us? This isn't just about military capability anymore. This is India saying we have zero tolerance for terrorism and we have the technology and precision to back that up. It's a massive shift from reactive to proactive defense strategy. But here's where it gets really interesting. This bold military move is now playing out in domestic politics in ways we might not even expect. The BJP continues to mark June 25th as Constitution Assassination Day, referring to the emergency period as the darkest time in India's history. Standard political rhetoric, right? But then Congress MP Shashitharoor wrote this article for Project Syndicate that absolutely exploded within his own party. Tharoor didn't hold back. He talked about the unspeakable cruelty during the emergency, forced sterilization, slum demolitions. He said whatever order it brought came at a huge cost to the soul of our republic. Very strong words. But here's the kicker. Tharoor has been supporting Operation Sindoor, praising PM Modi, leading outreach delegations on terrorism. This led to Congress MP Manikam Tagore publicly asking if Tharoor is becoming a parrot, just repeating BJP lines word for word. That's political theatre at its finest, but it shows real internal battles within the Congress. Even with all these tensions, there's this fascinating cultural angle. Remember the controversy around Dassang's film Sardaji 3 with a Pakistani actress? Punjab's Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann defended it by saying, "We have a shared culture, we have the same language." He pushed back hard against patriotism certificates, saying you cannot issue a certificates of patriotism. The film made 42.6 crore in 10 days overseas, highest grossing Punjabi film of 2025 so far, but couldn't get released in India because of tensions. It shows how art gets caught in the middle of geopolitics. Now, let's talk about what's happening behind the scenes with India-US trade talks. Indian negotiators are back in the Washington, but they are playing it cool. They want a complete deal, not some interim arrangement. The message is clear. India's interests remain paramount and we are not bound by deadlines. What does the US want then? Agriculture, American whiskey, automobiles? But India is reluctant, especially on lowering tariffs for farm goods. Here's a guess of strategic play. India's chief negotiator Rajesh Agarwal pointed out that India's diversifying. UK deal done, EU talks advanced, chats with New Zealand, Chile, Peru. This isn't just about one trade deal, it's about India positioning itself as a crucial part of global value chains. They're not putting all their eggs in the American basket. But let's talk about something that really hit home for many people. This viral comedy video about Bengaluru's linguistic landscape, what not Indians think Bangaloreans do every day, by Disha Umesh, showed wildly exaggerated examples of hostility toward Hindi speakers. Shopkeepers hiking mango prices for 50 to 500 rupees just because customers spoke Hindi. The reactions were fascinating. Some people said, this is why we don't bother learning local languages. Others shared genuinely upsetting stories of actual discrimination. It highlights how language barriers can affect daily interactions in pretty significant ways. Now here's a comment that set political circles on fire. RSS chief mohanbhagwat saying, when you turn 75, it means you should stop now and make way for others. Why did this cause such a stir? Because PM Modi is turning 75 this September. The opposition jumped on it immediately. Sanjay Raut from Shiv Sena basically said, Modi made Advani, Joshi, Jaswant Singh retire at 75. Let's see if he follows his own rule. But here's the thing. Amit Shah had previously said there's no retirement clause in BJP's constitution and Modi will continue to lead till 2029. Interestingly, on the same day, Bhagwat made this remark. Amit Shah was talking about his own post-retirement plans, studying Vedas, Upanishads, organic farming. Now, is this just about age or is the RSS trying to tighten its hold over the BJP? It's complicated because historically, RSS chiefs only step down due to serious health issues, not the age. Now, let's talk about something that's going to affect millions globally. the sudden withdrawal of US funding for HIV programs. This is being called a systemic shock, and that's not hyperbole. The US pulled back $4 billion pledged for 2025 for global HIV programs following Trump's order to suspend foreign aid and essentially shut down US aid. UNAIDS put out a stark warning. If this funding isn't replaced, we could see more than 4 million AIDS-related deaths and 6 million more HIV infections by 2029. The immediate effects are already being felt. Destabilized supply chains, health facilities closing, clinics losing staff, prevention programs set back, testing disrupted. To put this in perspective, PEPFAR, the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief started by George W. Bush in 2003, supported testing for 84.1 million people and treatment for 20.6 million. In Nigeria, PEPFAR funded 99.9% of the budget for HIV prevention medicines. Here's the really frustrating part. There's this new drug called IS2GO that's reportedly 100% effective in preventing HIV. 100%. But Gilead, the pharma company, is pricing it so high that it might be out of reach for the countries that need it the most. Even though generic versions are planned for 120 poorer countries, the access issue is massive. South Africa's Health Minister Aaron Matsoletti said they will move mountains and rivers to get the access. But he also made an interesting point. Relying on so heavily on the US aid was scary. This suggests a push for more sustainable, locally driven solutions long term. Let's shift to something that affects content creators directly. YouTube's changing monetization policy starting July 15th. They are bringing in new rules to better identify mass-produced and repetitious content. Most creators are reading this as basically targeting low-effort AI-generated stuff. This isn't YouTube first radio. Back in 2016, rules were minimal. 2018 brought the 1000 subs, 4000 watch hours requirement. 2019 cracked down on endless rain sound videos. 2020 targeted text-to-speech Reddit story videos. Now, this feels like the next evolution. What does this mean for the creators? The message is clear. You have to move beyond mere aggregation. Just compiling stuff isn't enough. You need originality, unique voice, personality. You need to tell a story, offer analysis, provide a unique perspective. It's less about size and more about pushing everyone to add real quality value. Let's end on an optimistic note. India's space achievements. Indian astronaut group captain Shubhanshushukla is due back on Earth July 14th after 14 days on the International Space Station. This is huge. He's the first Indian to visit the ISS and only the second Indian astronaut ever after Rakesh Sharma in 1984. During mission Akash Ganga, he conducted 7 India-specific experiments. This isn't just a personal achievement. It's a crucial first step for India's Gaganyaan human spaceflight mission. It really underscores India's growing space ambitions and capabilities. So, what's the big picture here? Whether we are talking about military operations, political flip-flops, trade negotiations, tech policy changes, or space missions, they are all interconnected. They all reflect shifting dynamics of power and influence. That 23-minute operation in Pakistan, it's not just about military capability, it's about India asserting its place on the global stage. The trade talks with US, it's about India not being dependent on any single power. The space mission, it's about technological sovereignty. Understanding these connections is crucial for navigating today's world. These aren't isolated events, they are part of a larger patterns that shape our future. Now, that's a wrap on today's Cutting Through the Noise. Are you seeing the connections I'm talking about? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this analysis helped you understand the bigger picture, smash that like button and subscribe for more content that cuts through the noise. And remember, staying informed isn't just about consuming news. It's about understanding how everything connects. I'll see you in the next one.